Astro Reads with Amazon. I am Amazon, and today we're going to be doing Scorpio's August reading. I will be using the Mermaid Tarot deck as my main deck today, and then when we go into the love and career readings, I'll be using the Modern Spellcasters Tarot deck, and then for the advice, I will be using, of course, my Crystal Medicine Oracle deck. So let's just jump right into it. Give the cards here a nice little shuffle. Let's see what's coming up. Okay, well, already feeling pressure on my head. So, Scorpios, what is on your mind right now? I feel like Scorpio can be very obsessive in thought. Obsessive meaning you're literally just thinking about this thing over and over and over in a bunch of different ways, angles, directions. And that causes anxiety, right? So let's see what's going on in general for Scorpios, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for August. What's going on with Scorpios, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? Okay, well, like I said, there's a lot going on in the mind. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse. So this is good. You know what I mean? If there are things that are kind of just all taking up all this space in your head, and it's been kind of really difficult to navigate or maneuver, you are kind of coming to a place where you're okay, I gotta do something about this. The Ten of Swords, when it comes up upright, that's defeat. You're physically spent and emotionally you're really tired, and it doesn't feel like there's really any more left within you. You feel just kind of beaten up, you've gotten chewed up and spit out, and it just is hurting, right? So with the Ten of Swords here in reverse, I just feel like you are coming to this place where you're recognizing your role in this, as far as how much tension and stress you keep yourself under. And even though you're recognizing this, it might not feel that great with the Six of Wands in reverse. It's probably showing you and you're coming to the realization where you're wow, so granted, whatever situations that you were dealing with, it's not solely you involved, but you do have your role in it too. And coming to that conclusion with yourself, I kind of put myself in these predicaments. I wasn't checking my behavior, or I wasn't checking myself, or whatever the case may be. I wasn't listening to myself, and I allowed things to pile up and pile up and pile up. So you might be in a space where you're not really feeling so hot about yourself, because you're dag, well, I guess I did kind of push the limits there. I pushed the limits on myself. I didn't listen to myself. So while it's great that you're coming to these conclusions, also remember not to beat yourself up about that, right? You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. You're a human. You have emotions. Allow yourself to feel those emotions. Allow yourself to be real with yourself, and recognize when you're the one hurting yourself too, right? But I do feel with the Knight of Wands right after that it will bring you to a place where now you have this renewed faith and confidence in yourself, and about your capabilities as well. And it's gonna want, and you're gonna want to engage with people. You're gonna want to interact. You're gonna want to do more and be more active in that way. So that's really good. You know, allow yourself to get through the fear of the unknown. Allow yourself to get through the fear of not having control. To and stop allowing what's happened to you to dictate what you do presently now. So by that I mean you might be in certain circumstances or situations that you've been in similarly in your past, and you have the option to either react the way that you normally would, so the way that you've done in the past, or you're going to be present in these moments, in this situation, and develop a current reaction to what is happening currently, right? So when you allow yourself to be present in that way, you don't get stuck in the fear of what happened before. You don't get stuck in that emotional and mental headspace of what happened before. You're here and you're present, and you can develop reactions and responses based on what's happening currently and happening in real time, right? Yeah, because I knew it. See, we have the Hierophant in reverse here at the bottom of the deck, so you might have Taurus placements, but it's time to stop, like, you know, holding yourself to weird standards that are at your own expense. So like I said, keeping yourself in wildly tense circumstances because you can handle all the tension, that doesn't mean that you need to be there. And you know, even letting go of certain mentalities that you have, certain ideologies that you believe, certain ways of interacting with people. It's time to let all of those things go, because those were based in fear or insecurity or based in scarcity, and so you were operating from a totally different space when you were acting that way or responding that way. So it's time to let that go, right? Because like I said, with the Nine of Swords, it's been on your mind. Things have been on your mind. You've been obsessing and thinking about it over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and you get stuck here, and then you don't do anything in real time, or what you do in real time is based on where you're stuck at in your head and not what's actually happening in the present, right? So be aware of when you're doing that to yourself, Scorpio, and be aware of when you're doing that to keep yourself in situations, or to keep yourself in relationships, or to keep yourself in environments that are physically and mentally and emotionally draining you. Okay? Okay. Scorpios. So let's get into love and romance next. Let's start with the single and dating Scorpios. What's going on in love and romance for single and dating Scorpios? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in August. Okay. What's going on for single and dating Scorpios? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Okay. And what do they need to be aware of? Okay. Jumping out at me. Ooh. Alright. Alright, so the first card that came out here was the, they actually came out together, so I'll put them both up together. But the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles, both in reverse. I think because of what I mentioned in the general reading, that this uncertainty that you might be experiencing with, that's why the Ace of Wands in reverse is here. It's blocking kind of that, it's getting in the way of like your passion. It's getting in the way of your fire. Scorpio is also ruled by Mars, and you are very passionate about things. It's really like one extreme or the next extreme. There is no real like middle ground with Scorpio placements. So like, I feel like this, this uncertainty that you're feeling, this thing that you're kind of constantly ruminating about, it's been affecting your confidence in certain ways. It's kind of been blocking others, or even just new perspectives. It's been blocking even people that are trying to like see what's up with you. Like, they want to see what's good, and you're like, no. And again, I think it's because of that fear that you're holding on to from past relationships that is making it hard to see what's happening for you in real time. And I think that's why the Queen of Pentacles came out in reverse too, because again, it could be coming from a place of lack or low self-worth, where you're like, no, I don't deserve this newness, I don't deserve love, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve that. I also feel like, you could be in a place where maybe you're in between jobs. Maybe you're having kind of difficulty stabilizing yourself in certain ways, and so it has you a little, feeling a little, what's the word? Well, I guess we'll use scarce, right? It has you feeling a little unstable, uncertain. If you attach your worth, your self-worth to materialism, then that definitely makes it a little bit difficult to love yourself, especially when you find yourself without certain things and you feel like you need certain things to be complete or be a whole person. That's not true. So think about the ways that you're attaching, or what you're attaching your self-worth to, and think about the ways that you're defining these things for yourself, because worrying with the Nine of Wands, with the Nine of Swords here in reverse, worrying and obsessing and getting so caught up in your head is going to keep preventing you from being present. It's going to keep preventing you from being able to connect with people in genuine ways. And so then that's where the cycle of paranoia starts, and mistrust, and that control that you need to have on everything. That's where all of that comes into play. So let go of the worry. Let go of well, what if they do this? What if they do this? What if? Let go of all of those, okay? Because it's going to just keep causing you this feeling of anxiety, of paranoia, of scarcity, making you feel like you're not worthy or deserving of love, and these are the lies that you're telling yourself because you're getting trapped in your head about the fear or possibilities or potential of what if, right? Don't do that to yourself, right? There could be something that is still at work emotionally that you need to go to revisit with the Eight of Cups in reverse here. At the bottom of the deck, you have to, that you have deep emotions, Scorpio, and you cannot run from them as much as you try to. And the Eight of Cups in reverse here is telling you to stop running, because there's things that you need to work through still, okay? Especially in regards to love, self-love, and romance. You have to work through these emotions, these fears that you still have, where those come from. Where did you pick up on those habits? Why aren't you letting them go now? All of those things you have to sit with yourself and figure out. And those answers only come from within. There's nobody else that can tell you why you're reacting the way that you do. All of those answers you possess, but you have to be real enough with yourself to sit and feel them and look at them and be like, okay. All right. So now for committed Scorpios and monogamous or polyamorous relationships, what's going on for you in love and romance for August? What's going on for committed Scorpios, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and polyamorous and monogamous relationships? Okay, that's nice. Alrighty, and what do you all need to be aware of in regards to love and romance? Okay. Well, this is interesting. Alright, so the first card that came out here was the Eight of Swords. And I did feel a little pressure on my head as I was shuffling too, but if there are needs that aren't being met in your relationship, speak up and say that. And I feel like that's what it is, because the Eight of Swords is often when you feel trapped by your own circumstances or even imposing limits on yourself. So if you feel as though like there's certain needs not getting met, or if you feel like, you know, there's kind of these blocks happening in your relationship and you're not really sure like why or where it's coming from, speak up about those things, right? The thing about the Eight of Swords is that the person is not as trapped as they think they are. It's just that because they are only allowing themselves to see what's not there, that it feels like a trap. Kind of similar to the Devil card, but this is all like in your mind, right? This is you just kind of telling yourself this and kind of like putting yourself in the mentality of being stuck, of being stagnant, of not having like movement or motion. And so I feel like it's a matter of like needs not being met, or not feeling like you can be yourself. And so if that's the case, or your partner is feeling this way, so if that's the case, then it's time to open the floor for this conversation. It's time to be honest about it. It's time to talk and just be like, okay, this is how I feel. This is what's going on for me. I think we should discuss. Right? Because you have the Wheel of Fortune right after that. So, you know, in order for the wheel to turn, one, it requires faith, and two, it requires you being open enough to recognize when you're standing in your own way and when you're imposing your own limits on yourself. This is Jupiter's card, so you might have Sag or Pisces placements as well. But you know, the Wheel of Fortune turns for those who are faithful in the fact that they can keep it turning even when it feels like they can't, right? Expanding, being able to grow, even in the most difficult times, is still keeping the wheel moving. It might not move as fast, but that doesn't mean it's not moving at all, right? So don't remember what you all want to do together. How do you want to grow together? How do you want things to elevate? And consider the ways that you can discuss these. Consider the ways that you can free yourself from feeling like it's not going to grow, and be open about what it is that you need, or open the floor for your partner to share that with you and have a real discussion about it, right? Because with the star here, as far as what you need to be aware of, when you water yourself, then you can water others. And when others feel watered, they can water you. So consider the ways that, you want to be watered. Consider the ways that your partner has told you they want to be watered. And come together and discuss those things. You might have Aquarius placements, or they might have Aquarius placements, because the star is Aquarius's card. But, that's really what a relationship is about, reciprocity, right? So be aware of the ways that you're reciprocating things, and understand your partner's love language, and help them understand your love language as well, because that's how you can resolve conflict. That's how you can get out of these kind of stagnant or feeling kind of stuck in a rut places, because relationships go through that. And just be real about it, and find out, even if the ways that you show love, or the ways that they show love to you, are changing. Discuss that, be open about that, and share your feelings with each other about it, right? Yeah, because we have the King of Swords in reverse at the bottom of the deck. So you don't want to allow what you believe your limits to be to now be the basis for how you're treating those around you, and how you're talking to those around you, and communicating with your partner, right? The King of Swords is a bully, so don't turn into a bully because you feel like you're not being heard, or you feel like your partner doesn't understand you, or because you feel trapped, right? If you feel that way, it's important to discuss that with your partner, and don't assume that they know this and that they feel the same way, because more often than not, they don't. So just be more proactive in speaking up when you feel things, and not because you want someone to notice and pick up on it. Sometimes people just don't notice, and sometimes they're not even, or they don't perceive it in the ways that you perceive it. So it's just a matter of speaking up and saying something. Okay, Scorpios. Alrighty. So let's get into career and finance now. Let's see what's happening with Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in career and finance for August. Let's see. Okay. And what can Scorpio do to better their relationship with their career and finances? Okay. That's not bad. Okay. So the first card that came out here was the Queen of Swords in reverse. I feel like this is, I feel like you might be at a place where you're feeling a little bit vulnerable about the work that you're doing, or about the ways that you are investing your money and spending your money. It could be you're at like a lower moment right now, or a slower time, and it has you feeling impatient with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse here. And And so because you're feeling impatient, it's bringing you into this kind of like mental space where it's a little nerve-wracking, and you might even feel a little I don't want to say scared, but just uncertain. And so it's bringing up certain things. Certain questions are popping up in your mind, and you're thinking about stuff, and you're like, okay, well, what do I do? What move do I make next? Or how do I kind of get things going again, right? So, you might be coming into a space of impatience and fear of losing your stability. I feel like that's what it is. Because things are maybe moving a little bit slower than you would like, right? But, sorry, eyelash in my eye. But it's important to remember that in those down times, right, to embody this kind of hermit energy. So you might have Gemini or Virgo placements in your chart, or you might be working closely with Geminis or Virgos. But the hermit is, when we take that time to go like back within, to do some more digging, to do some more research, more planning, more understanding of like what's happening, right? And just kind of like laying low and just, like I said, taking notes and observing and understanding certain things. So in this downtime, it's not that that time is just simply passing you by, right? You can use that time to your advantage to figure out better or more efficient ways to use and invest your money. Figure out figure out how to plan for your next moves if you are looking to get out of a certain position and move into something else, or even just with what you're waiting to come to fruition. Now start planning about what happens after that thing comes to fruition. Just making conscious efforts, intentional efforts and actions towards whatever it is that you are waiting to come to life. Excuse me, right? Because we have the Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck, so you definitely are feeling the inspiration. You are, that flame it's stoking, and it's burning brightly. So you want to capitalize on that, and I totally understand, and I feel like that's where the impatience is coming from also. But there are things that need to be understood and discovered first before you can go into that next thing, right? So even if you are feeling vulnerable, you're feeling a little bit kind of, in this low space, a little uncertain, that's okay. Allow yourself to feel that, but don't let your impatience make you think that you're not doing what you need to do, or that you're not where you're supposed to be, because where you're at is where you're supposed to be. And when you're ready for the next thing, it will come to you. Okay, Scorpios? Alrighty. And lastly, let's get some advice from the Oracle deck. Any advice for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for this month in regards to this spread? I don't know what I was going to say before. Any advice or last messages for Scorpio? Let's see. Okay. All right. So the first card that came out was Dance. The totem here is a rattle. The crystal is boulder opal, and the number is 9. 9 is, a number of independence, and it's also the number of coming to completion. So I feel like this is really just saying to remember who you are, right? That's what Leo season is all about, like remembering who we are authentically. Remember who you are and stand firmly on that, right? The totem being the rattle, that's kind of like shaking things up for yourself, shaking things up so that you're not feeling stuck or feeling like you have to be one particular way or have to do things in one particular way, right? Making noise about who you are and coming as you are. And then after that, we have rebirth. The totem is spring. The crystal is Shiva Lingam, and the number is 21, which breaks down to a 3. So, communicating, community, connecting, all of those things. Rebirth allows that to happen, right? That's when things are re-emerging because of these connections that happened underground, that happened beneath, and now it's coming to the surface, right? Scorpio, you are the transformer, and rebirth is totally your thing. So allow yourself to be born again into the new things that you've learned, the new mentalities you've adopted, the new ways of being that you practice. Allow that to be born, right? And then we have reflection. I think this came up for Pisces too. So take that time to come back to self when you feel like things are just way too much, way too chaotic, and you feel like you're kind of losing control. Remember that you can't control those things outside of you, but you can definitely come back to yourself and be like, okay, how am I feeling? Why does this make me feel this way? What do I need to give myself right now? Come back to that. 22, it's a master number here. Understanding the ways to show up for yourself, right? How to see yourself, how to be there for yourself. Okay, so do that for yourself, Scorpio, because you deserve it. All right. Okay, so we've reached the end. Thank you for tuning in. I hope these messages resonate. Be sure to like and share with the homies. Subscribe. If you would like a personal reading, I am open for booking, so feel free to book with me, and I'll leave that in the description box. And if you'd like to tip, I will also leave that in the description box below. And I hope these messages find you well. I will see you all next month.